Okay, let's take a look at Prep Test 88, Section 1, questions 1 through 6, and you should be on Law Hub. And here we have a rescue organization and an adoption event. They're going to display 5 animals that are available for adoption, each in its own pen. And the pens will be arranged next to one another in a single row. So, that takes really no thought. You'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And what do we know about them? So in those 5 pens, there are 8 animals that are available, but there's only going to be 1 per pen. So we have 4 kittens. So we'll put the kittens up here. And the kittens are F, G, H, and J. F, G, H, and J. The puppies are R, S, T, and W. R, S, T, and W. Okay. And then here come the constraints. So the first constraint is that the 1st and 5th pen have to hold the kitten. So you can just put that right in. I mean, the first pen, first pen's going to be here. So I'm just going to say, okay, you're a kitten, and you're a kitten. I got that. Next, Taffy cannot be displayed next to any kitten. Well, here's Taffy. So I'm just going to take this in this upper area here, say, Taffy, you cannot be next to a kitten. So that's not going to be a kitten, and that's not going to be a kitten. There's no kitten next to Taffy. All right, and Taffy is now restricted. Then I know that either G or H, but not both, must be included. Okay, so G and H are both over here, and they're kittens, right? So I'm going to have G or H, but I'm not going to have them both, but not G, H. So complete that. I must have G or H, but I cannot have them both. Here's G and H. And then the final one here is if WAGs is in the display, so WAGs is over here. So if I have WAGs in the display, then G's got to be in the second pen. Then G's in pen 2. Okay. And now I have to create the law. All right. And let's see, how do I do this here? Well, a couple of things. Once the Taffy cannot be next to a kitten means that Taffy's not going to be either in pen 2 or pen 4, and certainly not in pen 1 or 5, right? So Taffy's, if Taffy's anywhere, it's in 3. The other lead I have here to work on, and I'm just going to put a little asterisk here in this, because I'm going to use the asterisk to represent an if-then relationship. So that to me means if W, it participates, G is second. Now back to this constraint here, that you have to have G or H, but not both. So there's only 2 possibilities, right? One possibility is you have G. So I'm going to say in this world, G participates, but I'm going to create a second world down here. And in the second world, it's not going to be G, it's going to be H. So down here, H participates. And again, this has to be a kitten, and this has to be a kitten. Okay, so over here, I'm going to say, well, you know what? If G's participating, H is not. And if H is participating, G is not. So in terms of the law I'm creating is bifurcated law, meaning there are 2 possibilities. One is G participates, and the other is H does. So this constraint is now taken care of. I'm going to put in the Taffy thing. So Taffy cannot be here. Taffy cannot be here. Taffy cannot be here. And Taffy cannot be here. Okay. So that takes care of Taffy cannot be next to a kitten. And of course, if you put a kitten in the middle, taffy would be out of luck. Matter of fact, if you have a third kitten, taffy's out of luck. If you had a kitten any other place, there's no place to put taffy. So if there are 3 kittens, there is no taffy, right? Because there's no place for taffy to go. And really all that leaves me with is that if W participates, then G has to be second. So that requires G to be available. But in this bottom hypothetical, G is not available. So since G is not available, W is not available. So down here, there is no W and there is no G. And I've created my law. And with that, I'm done. So now it's okay. If I want to answer the first question here, it's which one of the following could be in the display in the order from first to fifth. So that's an orientation question. And again, just take the constraints. So the first and fifth must hold kittens. Okay, so I look here at the first, and I'm looking over here at kittens, which goes from F to J, and taffy's not a kitten, so you would throw E out. He's not available as an answer. If I go to my second constraint, that taffy cannot be next to any kitten. Okay, well, if I take it down, I'm going to work my way up. Like I just eliminated E. So here in D, taffy cannot be next to a kitten. And here is taffy next to G, right? So that gets eliminated. And with respect to C, taffy is fine. B, taffy is fine. And A, taffy's not there. So that's fine. Third constraint, you can have G, you got to have G or H, but you can't have both. And I look at choice C, and I'm fine, right? Because I have G, but no H. I look at B, and I have G and I have H. So B is out, and that leaves me with A and C, because A is fine. It just says H. And then the final one here is that if W is in the display, G's got to be second. So I'm looking at C, and here's W, and G is first. So A is the answer. And if you just click on that on show answer, A is the answer. Question number 2. The issue raised here is if WAGS is included, the display cannot include. So again, before you go looking at the answer choices, you say, well, if WAGS is included, we have to be in the top hypothetical, right? Remember, because down here we've established there is no WAGS. So if we're in the top hypothetical, there can be no H. And you just look to see, did they give you an answer choice where they said H can't be there? And sure enough, answer choice B says H. And H is the question, because if W is displayed, it will be in the top hypothetical, and H is not available. So there's the law just solving right off, just no time at all to solve. Question number 3. And think about this. Now here they say, well, 3 puppies are displayed. So, if you were doing this, you say, well, 3 puppies are displayed. You got to look up here at, R, S, T, and W. And notice I didn't complete my underlining up there. That was nasty. So here we want to, we have this W should be underlined because W hit this G2. All right, so now my underlining is complete. But when you look at, if there are 3 puppies, then you're going to say, well, what do I have to have? Well, if the 3 puppies, they have to be in these 3 positions, right? Because there've got to be kittens on the left and right. So you look at this and stop for a second. Before you jump and look at the answer choice, you say, well, wait a minute. If there are 3 puppies, those 3 positions have to be filled. Okay, I got it. I got that. Then they say, so what do I know about the puppies? I don't know anything about R and I don't know anything about S. So I don't, that's fine. But I do know something about T. Specifically, if T's included in these 3 puppies, T's got to be third, right? But I also know something about W. And if W is included, then G is going to be second. And if G is going to be second, you can't have the 3 puppies. So if you're looking for something here, it's got to be that the 3 that participate are going to be R, S, and T. And if you want to know what's got to be the case, T is going to have to be third. And that's the work you do before you look at answer choices. And sure enough, you look down here, and answer choice D says taffy is in the third pen. That's the answer. It's organize, manage, and solve. No tricks, no shortcuts, no logic games. Question number 4. If Fluffy is displayed next to Jaguar, the display cannot. So I don't know. I know, so I'm just going to look here at, let's put Fluffy next to Jaguar. Now, it doesn't have to be in that order. But if we put Fluffy next to Jaguar, do you see that we spill over? In other words, you got to have a kitten here, and you got to have a kitten here, no matter what hypothetical you're on, right? So regardless of which kitten it is, when you put F next to J, you're either got to put it here or you got to put it here, right? So you got to spill over. So now we've got 3. So just for the heck of it, I'll put FNJ here, right? It could be, doesn't have to be, could be JF, but FJ, so I'll put like a little arc over there so that reversible, but there's also going to be another kitten over here. Then here would, this one would be G. So I'll put G in there. But that's what they're looking for you to see is, okay. And again, it wouldn't make any difference whether it was down here as H. So if I do that, and Fluffy is next to Jaguar, the display cannot include, well, if you look at this, you say, well, wait a minute. Certainly you can't have, you're now down to only 2 of the 4 puppies are available, right? So, you're done with the kittens because kittens are exhausted. The most you can have is 3, and you got 3. So you're saying, okay, these final 2 positions have to be filled with puppies. And again, even if you do it down, say you complete this down here, we'll do the same thing. This is F and J, but over here, it would be H. Okay? All right. So the remaining 2 are going to have to be puppies, and clearly it's not going to be T, right? Because now, no matter which way you do this, if you have it spill over here or you spill over here, T's out of this. So you have R, S, and W. That's your available puppies, R, S, and W. And if you have W here, then G would have to be 2. So, if you're doing that and G is 2, let me just erase this to show here. So, because that's not going to be possible. So if you have F and J, you couldn't have W with 2 because, if you had F and J over here, if you had F and J over here, and you had W, you get W, you have to have G at second. There's just no way to get G at second when you put F and J together. You could get G first, but you can't have G second. You could have G last, but you can't have G second. So the answer there is going to be WAGs, that you cannot have WAGs in this display. And so that is the answer to question number 4. Question number 5. If J is not included, okay, so now we're taking J out. All right, so now I'm going to come over to my kittens, right? And there is no J. So with no J, I get either G or H plus F, right? That's it. It means I have to have 3 puppies. Okay. But here it's what could be true. So if I don't have Jaguar in the display, notice they have to work a little because they want to know what could be true. So I have available 2. In other words, if we go with, it doesn't matter what hypothetical I'm on, whether, if I were up here, it would be G. If I down here, it would be H. You put F would have to be over here, F would have to be over here. And you say, okay, based on that, what could be true? And what I know is I need 3 puppies, and I can't have W, right? Because if I have W, I've got to put G in 2, and I can't put G in 2. because there are only two puppies. And so W's out, which now leaves me with R, S, and T. And T is going to have to be third. So in terms of what could be true, you got R and S remaining, right? And they're going to be at 2 and 4. So let's see what we have. And you know, unless we deal here with this again, this is reversible. In other words, this could be F here. This could be FH here. This would be FG and GF, right? That's the full. Okay, so now, could it be that G is in the 4th pen? No. Could it be that H is in the 5th pen? Yes. If we went through it, could Raisin be in the 3rd pen? No. Could Scampi be in the 3rd pen? No. Could Wags be in the 4th pen? No, Wags can't be there at all, because if Wags is there, G's got to be 2. So the answer there is B, honey is in the 5th pen, is a statement that could be true. Almost done. We just got one more in this hypothetical. Okay. And question number 6. Question number 6 is, if Scampi is not included, so now they want us to leave out Scampi. So again, you just bring these down, and if you don't have Scampi, you have R, you have T, and you have W. Okay. And it's a must be true. And over here, again, if you just bring this down, we know we have G or H, and then F and J have no limits whatsoever. So if we have R, T, and W, and we know that, you know, we know that if T is there, T's got to be third. All right. So when you're looking at this, you know, so it doesn't matter, right? Because if this is G, you know, you'd have G here, you'd have H here. The question being, 5 of these 6. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One of these 2 is in there, right? 5 of these 6 have to participate. And you're saying, okay, what do I know? Well, you know, you only have restraints over here on W and T. So we know about T, right? T's not going to be next to a kitten. So if T is present, T's third. But what about W? And see, if W is present, G has to be second. Okay. So that's if W is present. But then you would have all 5. In other words, if you had W there, G would be second. All right. And then you say, well, what would happen if you didn't have W there? So if we take W out of the mix, and now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But we have, whoops, losing my underlining here. We have kitten number 1, kitten number 2, kitten number 3, which means there's no room for Taffy. Taffy can't participate because Taffy would be next to a kitten, no matter what you did. And so when W is there, you can just erase that just to show it again. When W is present, when you have W, this is RTW. When you have W, G's got to be 2. When you don't have W, you have an impossible situation. So if I look at these answers, it's must it be true that Fluffy's in the 1st pen? No, Fluffy could be in the 1st pen, right? But doesn't have to be. Fluffy in the 5th pen. Well, it's the same thing. Fluffy could be, but doesn't have to be. Does G have to be in the 2nd pen? Yeah, it does, because W's got to be there. Does Raisin have to be in the 3rd pen? Well, Raisin doesn't have to be there, because you can have the 3 of them without Raisin, because then you have. I'm sorry. My mistake. Can Raisin be in the 3rd pen? And the answer is Raisin could be in the 3rd pen, but doesn't have to be in the 3rd pen, because R and W can go anywhere. And E says, is Taffy in the 3rd pen? The answer is Taffy in the 3rd pen doesn't work, because Taffy in the 3rd pen puts it next to a kitten in the 2nd pen. So the answer to the question number 6 is C for Caligula. So just quickly, if you just go back and click through this, question number 2, we picked B. When you click show answer, you get B. Question number 3, we pick D. You show answer, and you'll get D. Question number 4, we pick E. Show answer, and we get E. Question number 5, show answer. We pick B, and lo and behold, you get B. And question number 6, show answer, we pick C, and the answer turns out to be C. And so that's how you would solve questions 1 through 6, Prep Test 88 in section 1.